Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. Chris Blair, the voice of the Tigers, joins us every Thursday here in segment number 2 of the second hour, does so now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Chris, how we doing?
Doing good, man. Enjoying the bye week, but kind of missing the opportunity to see the Tigers play this weekend. But in good time, due time, they'll be back in action.
Going to be some back patio time, watching some football. You got a list of honeydews. What do you don't get many weekends off, so I'd imagine there's got to be something going on.
Well, you got to put your priorities first. So you get the honey-do list out of the way during the week, and then come Saturday. Yes, it's from 11 a.m. till whenever you go to sleep. We'll be watching football.
What'd you take from LSU's win over South Alabama when you factor in the results on the field and the opponent they played?
Yeah, I think that's the kind of win that we were expecting to see. I was asked all week what I thought South Alabama, would be able to do offensively. Having watched two of the Jaguars games, I kind of thought they'd score 17 to 20 points. And that was based solely on what I had seen in the previous matchups of LSU. So again, they certainly, outdid what I expected them to do. And again, taking in that game, going back and watching the film, that's kind of what I thought we would see against Nichols, kind of what I thought we'd see against UCLA, not comparing those teams together, but just a dominant performance. I mean, South Alabama, that game was over, with 10 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and the score was only 14-0. But it was a stark different body language, the lack of mistakes, everything, seemed to be hitting. So, I took it as a solid win, a good win that maybe this team is getting better week to week to week. Now you go into the bye week, you hope you make some improvement without a contest this Saturday, and then things really step up against an Ole Miss team who, frankly, should probably ask somebody to charge Kentucky with assault and battery.
Yeah.
I looked at their injury report, or their availability report, as we like to call it, and my goodness, Kentucky has certainly put a whooping on Ole Miss.
I have a different flavor there. I think Lane Kiffin is doing that on purpose. You're going to make me say everybody that's injured, I'm going to put 40 people on this list, or have some minion do it. I think he is completely playing the part here of the social media bully. That's my 2 cents. Although I did watch the game, and Kentucky did whip Ole Miss physically.
Yes, I agree.
All right, let's talk about this defense. Obviously, we get the former players to sit next to us and tell us what's going on X's and O's wise, but the LSU linebackers did have a lot of production in the game against South Alabama. Whitt Weeks in there, and then obviously Greg Penn. What have you seen from those two guys?
Yeah, I mean, they're impressive, and they looked very good Saturday. I mean, they were, as you said, they were flying to the football and looked like they were playing football. They weren't thinking football. I mean, it was, Whitt Weeks was everywhere. I thought Greg Penn, again, a career-high 14 tackles, was, had his presence be known. And frankly, I think we all can agree that coming into the season on paper, we thought, yeah, this linebacking core should be really good. And not that they haven't been good. It's just I don't think they made the eye-popping plays for the most part this season until this past Saturday. And you can chalk up that to all kinds of reasons, whatever theory you want to go to. I just know they looked better, and they looked like an SEC linebacking core. And, that's, again, if some of it has to do with guys learning their responsibilities, understanding where they're supposed to be, where their alignment is, where their fits are, and then ball gets snapped, go get it. If they're just getting better at that, then maybe that's the reason. But I was impressed with the way they played. Not only were they where they're supposed to be, but they made really good tackles, physical tackles, and fundamental tackles. And I don't know that we could have said that, maybe in the first 2 to 3 weeks.
Ryan Kelly said after the game on Saturday that we've been playing 6 safeties, rolling guys in. Come 2 weeks from now, talking about the Ole Miss game, there won't be a lot of rollings. How difficult do you think that decision is going to be to pare that rotation down to 2 or 3 guys?
I found it interesting that, again, I did a double take when I saw it earlier this week that, this is the team we're going to roll with. When we come out on Saturday night against Ole Miss, this is to get used to, barring, injury, obviously, this is what we're going with. I mean, that sounds like quite the challenge, not only for the defensive players, those position players, but I imagine the position coaches as well to, after this body of work, as you said, at the safety position, we've seen enough film on everybody. If they move some personnel around, Toviano becomes a little more involved, which we haven't seen a lot of him. Major Burns maybe becomes your safety more so than the star position. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, they know more. They watch it. They break down practice film. They break down game film. But that's quite the declaration to say, we're going to have our SEC defense set as far as personnel when we, open up against Ole Miss. But, I think that is a good sign. And hopefully we will see that translate into positive play for the defense.
Let's talk about the offense. It didn't take Caden Durham long to get going. Was Jim Nickel even ready to spot at that point, or did you have to do it on your own?
No, I mean, I think he did tell me Durham was in there because I said, wow, he is going to get the start. And then before that sentence got finished, he was off to the races. So we really didn't get to take the first sip of our water or Coca-Cola before Caden Durham 14 seconds later was in the end zone. But he's something to watch. But, I tweeted it out earlier this week. I was paying attention when Coach Dennis Shaver joined you on game day in week 2 and said, hey, look, if he gets it in space, good luck anybody catching him. So he's impressive to watch. And hopefully the toe issue is not going to be a factor. And just being on campus and being around football, it doesn't seem like it. So looking forward to him getting right back at it. He performed well in his first SEC game. Why not game number 2?
Yeah, I mean, I asked Dennis Shaver off the air, maybe not off the record, but off the air, and I said, are these guys that we're talking about running track, Caden Durham, are they like legitimately fast enough to run track at LSU where they win a national championship every year? And he's like, yeah, they're fast enough to do that, and they will if the coaches let them. So that's something to see when he cranks it up a notch. So this early bye week is not something we see every single year. How do you think that it'll impact LSU as they get ready for Ole Miss, who's played a really physical game last week and has a physical South Carolina team that you saw in person earlier this year coming up on Saturday?
Well, I'll say this. I applaud the 2-bye week. I don't know that my opinion weighs anything with anybody in the SEC office, and obviously it comes down to where the games fall on the calendar, but I love it. But having said that, from a personal note, I asked Coach Kelly about it a couple of times about, how do you prepare for that? And I just think I think they like it, and the reason they do is because you've heard him talk about they're playing a number of true freshmen. They've got new guys who have transferred in who are major contributors. And you play, the first 5 games, and then you get a breather. You get a week, which this week was treated just like a practice week. As I know you heard Coach Kelly talk about it, his media drops this week. And again, I think it falls at a good time because you have one conference game on the road. You got the other 3 games, obviously, or 4 games, obviously, out of conference. Then you get the bye week, and then you really start that 7-week gauntlet with another bye put in there. And as he told me, this week was going to be practice. They were going to try to get better, and then they'll go right back into game week practice beginning on Monday. And then the following bye week, they'll spend some time making sure at that point of the season everybody's rested, they're recovered, they'll get a few more things set for recruiting. So they're using both weeks differently. But I think the way the schedule sets up, the way that college football is now, where you've got, I won't say every year a majority of new players, but you have a significant number of new players every year. I think it fits fine for LSU, and I think it'll serve them well.
11:40 coming up on Monday. Brian Kelly press conference. You can catch Chris Blair and Gordy Rush there. Coach's show every Thursday. Not tonight because it's a bye week, but every Thursday at TJ Ribs. And then, of course, on the air for kickoff each and every week. Joins us on Thursdays here at 2:15. Thanks, Chris. Enjoy the weekend.
You do the same. See them high, shoot them low.
Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.